So now I'm doing things reverse. I know they begin with the meditation, but you know what? I'm beginning with the talk and then with the meditation so we can go out like not touching the carpet. Are you with me on that? So I would like to begin with a prayer treatment if we could. Okay, so let's get ourselves comfortable. And let's know right here and now. Oh, God is wonderful. That spirit, that essence that is me and living and having its being as me, that I choose to ignite and initiate every moment, is right here with me. And so I declare for myself and everyone in this room and everyone watching and beyond. Life is so good. I am right here and now manifesting the perfect life. All that I desire comes to me with grace and ease. I am knowing peace in the world, peace in my heart. I know health, love, truth, beauty, and compassion is permeating all circumstances of my life. I am on a journey, and that journey is to discover my gifts, to appreciate them, to share them in life, and to do that with each and every person that I meet. And I am also open and receptive to all the gifts that everyone in my life has to offer me. I declare this day to be good. It is filled with light and love and inspiration. And in this service today, let's know that the messages reach the deeper recesses of our mind that might be holding on to stuff that's been stopping or blocking us. So I let that go, and I let this inspiration truly, truly open up the path for me. I give such thanks for this teaching, for this understanding, for the love that is in the world. And I know that I am always divinely guided every step of my way. And as I release this prayer into the law, I let it be so. And we say together, and so it is. The 10 talks that I wrote for today, because I always write one and go, oh, you know what? That's not where it's not where I'm going. I want to say something else. So then I got up at like 6:15 this morning and said, okay, that's not what I wanted to say either. So now we're going to do this one. But I thought I'd share this. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little squirrel, and it says, chill out, people. Camping season is coming soon. But it's already here. So I thought that was very happy. I have a lot of squirrels right now traipsing around my trees, and I keep feeding them nuts, much to my kitten's entertainment. He sits there and watches them and is like, let me at him. But there you go. Today, I renamed my talk, A Summer Way of Life. Now think about this. Today is the 13th. 4th of July was 9 days ago. I don't know if it hit me like, are you kidding? I mean, doesn't it feel like it was like a couple months ago? At least it does to me. It feels like 100 years ago. Well, I was watching a program on TV about a week ago, right during the 4th of July. And I was flipping through channels. I don't even know what channel it was on, but it was called Legacies and Lies. And it was about the people that wrote the Declaration of Independence. And I thought, holy cow. I mean, there were, all the actors and stuff, and you start to realize, wow, this was the real deal. These were guys that when they were going to sign that Declaration of Independence, they had to put their life on the line. I mean, they were literally putting their life on the line, and many of them died. A friend of mine, I don't know if any of you remember Neil Poland, but he created a game, a 4th of July game, and every year he would have a party, and we'd go to it, and when you went to the party, there were these cards that were out, and the cards were all the people that signed the Declaration of Independence. And you had to pick a card. And then with that card, you were that person. I was William Penn. I will never forget it. I was William Penn. And you had to go around and you had to introduce yourself to 3 people as though you were William Penn and tell the people I was like the 33rd signer. I did this. And after I signed it, I lost my estate. My wife left me. I was hiding in the brambles, and finally folks took me in, and I lost everything, right? So there was a lot at risk when they put their name on the line and signed it to, this is what I believe, right? Luckily for us, we don't have to do that. But I thought I'd just share this because It's the text, I just thought, in case you were interested, the text was written primarily by Thomas Jefferson, but there were 5 guys that signed this in June of 1776, right? So it was John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Robert Livingston, Roger Sherman, and Thomas Jefferson. They were picked by the whole group to say, okay, you guys write it. You're the brains of the operation here. You write it. So just hear this for a second, because I was reading it the other day. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they declare the causes which impel them to separation. Now, it is not lost to me that I picked this sweater because I thought, well, it's a happy little clouds and it's blue sky, but it's also Big Ben. Hello, London. And so these guys are talking about breaking away from Britain. So here's the final, and you probably know this part. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Think about that. They decide, I have goosebumps. I just read that and I got goosebumps. They decided that they were going to put that down. They were going to break away from Britain. And they said, you know what? We want to live a different way. We don't want to live under your thumb any longer. And so they really put their life on the line. So I decided for myself, I was going to dig a little deeper and go, now what am I willing to put my name to? What am I willing to think about and say, this is me, this is what I believe, and this is how I'm going to live my life. Now, I don't know about you, but I have tons of folders and articles, and good Lord, let's not even go into the amount of books that I have, because if books were cats, I wrote this last night, I was like, did I write that? If books were cats, I would be the crazy cat lady, okay? Because I have so many books, and it's like, but you know what? It's not like I ignore them. It's not like they're getting dusty, but not because of not unuse. But I'll open it up and go, okay, what do I need to know today? And I'll open a book, and I'll be like, that was perfect. Remember that commercial, I could have had a V8? You're like, wow, that's so germane to what I'm experiencing right now. So, okay, so I go back and I revisit the collection every now and then, and this is what I read. You can, in the notes from a seminar, we used to go as ministers to Asilomar up every year, and now they've moved the events. I'm sorry, there's a fuzz here. We'll get it off. We'd go and we'd listen to speakers from all over the world in this teaching. It was fascinating to hear everybody else's spin using this teaching and then their spin on life. It was so wonderful. So this person wrote, and I don't even know, I can't quote the person because I just wrote down what they said and I didn't write down who said it. If a thing is true, it will create more freedom in our lives. And if a thing is false, it will create more exhaustion. Think about that for a second. And I thought, wow, I remember I had started a job in February and it ended in March. It was a quick job. But the thing is everybody kept going. I was treating for a job and I'm like, yeah, I got this job. And I was so excited. Well, it was kind of the job from hell. And I kept trying to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to stay positive. I am going to keep upbeat about this. Have you ever done that? You're in a lousy situation. You're like, oh, but I'm going to pour some more pink paint on it and make it really pretty, right? Even though it's not, right? So I kept going. Everybody would be like, oh, how's your new job? And I thought, well, I can't say it's lousy. So I thought, all I kept saying is, well, it can only get better, right? So that's positive, right? So, but then, of course, that underlying tone is like that it stinks, right? So I kept going, well, it can only get better, it can only get better. So after a while, then they released me from that job. And I was released on March 4th. March 4th. it didn't even occur to me until weeks later I went, oh my God, I got out of that job on March 4th. It's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And things opened up so that I could help our friend Reverend Martha, who's kind of resituating her whole lifestyle. So if I had been working in a job, I wouldn't have been able to help her. We're still on the tail end of it. So I'm like, wow, this was perfect timing. But at the time, it didn't look like perfect timing. Did you ever have that happen to you? Where an icky situation happened, and you're like, oh my God, this couldn't be worse. So it's like the idea is we're all cool. We're all fine. We can all keep positive when everything's going hotsy-totsy, right? But when things start to go south, that's when we're really being tested, right? So you get to either link into your faith or link into your fear. I heard this saying from Joel Osteen, and my friend Marty Wing reminded me of it the other day. We were having a big, long chat. She said, you know, I remember that. I go, oh, I love that quote. Faith and fear ask us to do the same thing. They ask us to believe in something that is unseen, right? Fear does too, because when you're fearing something, you don't know what's going to happen. You're just awfulizing. You're making it the big bad wolf in the closet, right? You're just making it awful. And with faith, it's saying, keep the faith, keep it going. Believe in the thing before it happens. Because until you believe it, it doesn't show up. That's what this whole teaching is about, that we want to believe it. So let's look right where we are. So summer is in full bloom. The days are longer, it's light, it's hot, it's humid, it's bathing suit weather, it's, barbecue time, and people are going on vacations. I put down here that airlines are offering summer fares because I got it but also people are lining up because their flights are getting canceled, but we'll cancel that right now. But still, I'm getting invitations to come to our summer spa and all this kind of stuff, and you say, I even saw this magazine, it had an article, featured article, How to Do Nothing. That just cracks me up because, if you tell somebody, oh, what are you going to do today? Oh, nothing. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to sit on my butt and do nothing. They'd be like, oh my gosh, you lazy bum, right? But so here's this article on how to do nothing gracefully, and allow yourself the permission to do it. I perhaps should read that. Being type A squared, I perhaps should read that. But so the truth is, so think about it. We think the days are longer. Oh, and by the way, did anybody see the moon last night? Holy cats. I was walking and I'm like, oh my Lord, is that the moon? And it was huge because it was just on the horizon coming up. I thought, oh my goodness gracious. But think about it. The days aren't actually longer. The light time is longer, but the days aren't longer. We are no different today in the summer than we are in the winter or the spring or the fall, right? But somehow it's like the summer we kind of give ourselves permission to kick back or wear looser clothes or whatever the heck we want to do, right? So the deal is, if we give ourselves permission to just relax into our life, no matter when it is, that's the idea of keep that summer attitude with you the whole time. Right? Now, we've seen those folks. You've seen, they always portray them as cowabunga guys doing the surfing, like, oh yeah, those are the guys. They got the summer attitude. They can't get adjusted to anything. It's like, no, they've got a good attitude to allow things to flow. So, to that end, I know you won't be able to read it, so I will read it to you. It's about changing. Perhaps you're more open to the idea of a free schedule. I love routine until I'm bored, and then I love excitement. Until I'm overwhelmed, and then I love routine. Isn't that the way? Right? We go, oh, I'm going to relax. I have been overworking. I'm going to relax. And then you relax, and you're like, okay, I'm so done relaxing. I got to go do something wild, right? So that's what happens to us. So science of mind teaches us that our thoughts create our reality. True? Our thoughts create our reality. But our thoughts are the blueprint that we give to life. There, we say to life, this is the type of thing I want to create, right? And it says, okay, all right, that's what you want. So we initiate the plans to manifest. But I'm going to read this sentence. Nothing more or less can show up in our lives until we embrace it with our own ideas. So think about this. You may be out there treating for the perfect relationship or the perfect job or ideal health or wonderful communication with a partner in some relationship. But until you embrace that, really embrace it with this is how it's going to be, and then put that faith behind it and that feeling behind it, it doesn't show up. And then you can go, see, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I heard a story of a woman that was an elderly woman, and she goes to the doctor, and she had had a checkup, and the doctor goes, well, good news, bad news. You know, you're 90, you're doing great. However, you're now starting to show signs of Parkinson's. And she looks at him, and first of all, she doesn't know what the heck Parkinson's is. And second of all, she doesn't know this doctor, and he doesn't know her. And she said, you know what? I'm not having a word of that. And he goes, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, we can start you on medication. She goes, no, 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 you don't understand. I am not accepting that into my consciousness. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. Thank you very much. She never had a sign of Parkinson's, ever. She never had it. Now, did her thinking make it so? And does that mean that other people didn't have the right thinking? No, but the deal is where we put our energy, it expands, right? So what we let into our consciousness, it opens up thoughts. So nothing more or less can show up unless we embrace it in our lives. We must conceive of it, and it has no way to show up, because until we get it, we don't get it. Until we get it, we don't get it. We don't get what we want until we get it. So we have to believe. So in my announcements, I said on Tuesdays, they're reading this book, Aladdin's Lamp. If you get the opportunity, I'm telling you, it's a great book. And it's written by Bill Hornaday and Harlan Ware. And they give stories and anecdotes about his interaction with Ernest Holmes. And you see all kinds of things. But it's also like the daily practical application of this teaching. And it's so matter of fact and so real. And it's like everyday stuff going on. So what was I going to say here? Oh, in it, yesterday we read the story about a sailor. The sailor gets thrown over. He's riding on a freighter, and he gets thrown over from the freighter. And he's in these choppy waters outside of the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's nighttime, it's winter, it's freezing, and it's awful. And he's like, oh, my God, he's dog paddling. Finally, he looks up to heaven, and he says, God, if you help me out of this, I will quit smoking. Okay, so he realizes that was kind of a lame offer because he was already planning to quit smoking. So he's like, okay, I'm going to up the ante here. So then he says, okay, I'll give up drinking. I'll even give up beer. Okay, I'll give up all the booze and I'll give up drinking beer. Big wave comes over him, and he's like, oh my God, so I gotta up the ante more. Have you ever done that? Have you ever bargained? I'll do this. If this works out, please, I'll do this, right? We do that? We bargain? I have. Okay, now the promise is getting bigger. He starts to get tossed around by the waves, and he goes, okay, I'll get a wife. We'll have kids. I will raise them in the church. I'll bring them to the church every day. Another big wave turns him upside down. He's like, God, what more? I'll send him to church. Didn't you hear me? He's like, all right. Okay, I'll even go myself. I'll go to church. God save me, and the rest of my life, I'm going to live as a saint. Okay? All right? And with that, he looks out, and he sees this redwood log floating on the waves. He's like, holy cow. As he's jumping on the redwood log, he goes, it's okay, God. Never mind, I take it back. I found my own log here. I'm okay. Have we done that? Right? Is it a coincidence? You know, we say here there are no coincidences because things don't happen by accident. They happen by thought. And energy and faith, etc. But have we done that? And when things do come our way, we go, oh, I did that. Look at me. I produced that. No, you didn't. You had every friend in your bank of friends giving you good intentions, and you had everything going on with you within your thought. You didn't create it by yourself. It's always created twice, once in thought and then in form. Okay, so the book in the book, Emerson says this. As Emerson is a wordy bird or uses words in a different way, he says, prayer is the soliloquy of a jubilant and beholding soul. So let's look at what happened. Let's look at what happened with that sailor. He was in a pickle. He didn't know what to do. It forces himself to feel really fearful and desperate. So now he's going to bargain because he thinks if I bargain, I'll get out of this. It'll happen better if I bargain. So he bargains. But he had a need. At that moment, he had a need. And then he saw the result, the redwood. He had a need, he made a plea, and he saw the redwood. That's how prayer works. That is how prayer works. So Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is here now. And what does that mean? It means that wherever we are, we can create the experience that we want, but we have to be in that mindset. So Ernest Holmes had said, I'm going to quote him here, in our self-created desperation, we become too terrified and self-absorbed to behold an ever-available avenue of escape. Do you ever feel like that? You're feeling so scared. You're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get out of this? How is this ever going to resolve itself? And when that happens, the thing to do is go right into prayer. Go right into thought. I am declaring right here and now for myself that only positive vibes are coming out of this. Only good results are coming out of this. I see happiness and joy. I see myself elated that everything is resolved. Boom. Snap out of that going down that negative road. Because we can all do that, can't we? So you get some bad news about something, it's hard not to get scared. But the deal is, have faith in the thing unseen rather than fear of the thing unseen. Have the faith that, wow, I can create a new experience. God can only show up in the capacity, whoops, I knocked this off, excuse me. God can only show up in the capacity that I am willing to experience it, right? So if I am so monkeying with this thing. I'm so sorry, Grant. I will go like that. Okay, it's going to stay right there. I won't touch it. Okay, God can only show up in the capacity that we can experience it. What does that mean, right? That means that as I'm declaring my truth, as I'm knowing who and what I am and what the world is, it's only going to show up to the point that I can see it from a higher vantage point, right? They always say go to the top of the mountain so you can see a bigger vista. And sometimes we're so down here and we're so entrenched in what's going on in our life that we can't see any way out of it. So what you do is you say, help my non-seeing eye right now. Help me open up and expand my own consciousness about it. When we do our prayer treatments, we're conditioning our mind to accept a solution. But we're not telling God what to do. We're not saying, okay, this is how I want it to show up. Because God may have a bigger plan. So we don't tell God how to do it, but we do say, I am open, receptive to receiving the solution to whatever it is I'm looking for. Sometimes we don't have a clue what it is, but God knows, right? And the moment you put yourself in that receptive plane and that higher vibration, it all comes in because you're going to attract. That law of receptivity tells us we're going to attract where our mind is going. When we treat properly, our understanding unfolds and we behold a solution. So if things aren't showing up the way you want, go back to square one and say, all right, what am I going to do here? How am I opening myself up to know this different truth? Thoughts are things. We've heard that a million times. Thoughts are things. But things are ideas in form. So hear it backwards. Thoughts are things, but things are ideas in form. So that means whatever you're impressing in your mind, that is what's going out into the law. That receptive medium, God, law, mind, and action, is bringing back to you your idea. That's why it's so important to tend your ideas, right? To tend the energy you're putting out there. Our subjective mind is our identity Our subjective mind is our identity in the infinite mind. That means God and I are one, but I'm that unique being in the big picture. I'm that unique being. You're that unique being. We're all that unique being in the infinite mind. But we're always impressing our ideas in that mind, and the mind says, oh, is that your idea? I support you. Boom, you get it. And you know those people, nobody in this room, of course, but you know those people that go, oh, I never win a contest. I stink at this. I never win anything, right? All you have to do after that is say, and so it is. Because what happens? You've set that whole dynamic into motion. So when we catch ourselves and say, oh, I used to say that. Dr. Frank had a great thing. Yesterday ended last night, right? Or there's not a spot where God is not. So you say, you know what? I used to think like that up until right now. And right now in the present, I'm saying, I'm changing things. I want to shift. Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter says, it's our choices that show us who we truly are, far more than our abilities. It's our choices that show us who we truly are. That's why it's important that we ask ourselves more often, what things am I tied to in my life that I'd rather be free of? Anybody have anything they want to be free of? I have a suggestion. Write it down on a piece of paper, fold it up, and leave it on your kitchen counter. And then when you go out through your day, and if your mind starts to go back there, you go, oh, I can't, I left it on the counter at home. I can't, it's over there. So you've detached yourself, but do something that physically detaches you from the thing that you've determined is limiting you. What thoughts and actions would allow me to shine more of myself in the world? Or ask yourself, how can I live more truthfully and express my heart's desire? We're already made in the image and likeness of God. You just can't put any more of God into you because God's all there is. But our charge is to bring out what's already in us, our gift. So it sounds easy to say, but isn't it difficult to bring out what's already within us? C.S. Lewis says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. You can't change the beginning, but you can change the ending. I'm getting the flash, and I've only got one little paragraph left. Remember, I don't always get what I'm looking for, but I always get what I'm looking from. I always get where the energy that I'm putting out there. And so if you don't like what's showing up in your life, don't go blaming everybody. Go right back here and say, where did I go south in my thinking, and let that go? And let my divine nature not determine where I was going. Where did I go south, and start to get in agreement with some limitation, right? So we stop ourselves. Remember, you always get where you're looking from. Always. I'm going to end with one little paragraph. Whenever we examine our way of being in the world, we develop a clearer design and direction for our life, don't you? The second you start to think about where am I going, you go, oh, I'm going to recalculate. Just like we delete documents on our computer, delete the stuff that no longer works for you. Just delete it and just relax into clearing allows more room for what we really desire. And your purpose is love, and that's what you came here to be. And so it is. All righty. Thank you. Okay. This is the time of our sharing. Oh, I begin the prayer right away. Okay. I thought you were going to come up here. Okay. Pardon me? Okay. Okay. Who has the microphone? Oh, hi, Robin. She's waving like the queen. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Margine.
Well, I was just curious about this new student to join.
Oh, the new member, yes.
Right. Can old members come to it?
Oh, yes, all old members can come too, yes. Young old members can come too, and old members can come too. Yes, anyone can come. I think it's just a good refresher, and it's just a reminder of, why is membership important, And there's many a time, I'll tell you, I came for years without becoming a member, and it's a different It's a different level of commitment the second you say, I'm in, right? Like the guys that signed the Declaration of Independence. They put their life on the line. They're like, I'm in. It's important to me. Anybody else? No questions? Heavens. And so maybe after the meditation, we'll do prayer treatments. Does that work? Okay. All right, so now we'll do our, thank you, Robin. We'll have you back, though, because for prayer treatments, maybe if anybody wants them, okay. Okay, so we're going to do, please repeat with me, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. Oh, and so it is. And Ruth will be around there. And then I'm just is it okay to sit down for the meditation or no? Okay, perfect. I'm going to get comfy. And I invite you to get comfy too. I feel a forest in our future. I saw that squirrel this morning. There you go. We're going to go back into the forest. Thank you, Ruth, for being our usher extraordinaire and our everything extraordinaire. When I worked in Idaho in this restaurant, we had a hamburger called the Hamburger Extraordinaire. It had everything on it but the kitchen sink. Okay. All righty, so we're going to turn the lights down and just get comfortable. I invite you to uncross your legs and arms if you can. And just get comfortable. And first we're going to do a couple little breathings to get ourselves centered and grounded. So I invite you to take a deep breath in. Just breathe that out. Another breath in. Just relax into that chair and allow that chair to support you. And now I want you to picture that breath, nice, big, clean, fresh breath coming from way down in the earth, way down below the earth. And as it breathes up, it comes up through your feet and your legs and up your spine and out the top of your head. And it circles in the morning sky here. And see that breath circle back around way deep into the core of earth. And as you breathe up, it's almost like effervescent bubbles coming up that air, and it's coming up through the bottom of your feet, and it's like just effervescing your entire body as it goes up through your toes and your soles of your feet and your ankles and your knees and your thighs and your hip and up your spine, these effervescent bubbles just lighting up every cell and atom of your body. And see it go up your neck, and it worked down your shoulders, and it goes out the top of your head. And it circles back around one last time. Deep, deep, deep in Mother Earth. And as you're breathing it in, it's this wonderful sense of grounding. You feel this bright white light coming up through the bottom of your feet, through the soles of your feet, up through your ankles and your knees and your thighs and your hips. And this time this light is just illuminating your body. You can just feel the essence of your soul just illuminated as it moves up through the spine, through your shoulders, your neck, out the top of your head, and then see it pull with it anything that is unlike this light, and it pulls it out of your body, sending it way out into the universe. And then just see it explode like a fireworks and just transmuting whatever that darkness was into the light that it truly is in essence. And it just becomes this effervescent light out in the universe. And it's transformed. Now breathing in your mind's eye, look down at your feet and see yourself walking on a beautiful grassy path. You're in a beautiful meadow, and you can see for miles, way off into the distance, there's mountains snow-capped mountains that are beautiful, but right here, the weather is perfect. This meadow is just filled with the softest grasses, and as you're walking through it, you see your bare feet, and the grass is just undulating like waves. You can hear the little birdies playing in the grass. You see butterflies. There's a butterfly flying right along with you as if to say, hi, come on in. It's great. And as you're moving through this grass, you're so relaxed. You lift up your arms. Your body feels wonderful and light. You feel buoyant. You don't feel your weight. You just feel buoyant. It's like you're floating through this meadow. And right in front of you you see a little brook, a little stream. And there are these 3 perfect stones right across the brook so that you can walk across it. And you see on the other side that there's this lovely little forest. It starts out very open, and you can see that it's going to go deeper. So here you are on the meadow side, and you're taking one step, and you can feel the refreshing spray of that brook coming over your feet. It feels so perfect. And you get to the other side, and the stones are perfectly smooth, like you don't have to worry about oochie ouchie on your feet. It feels perfect. And as you're walking towards this beautiful, beautiful forest. And you walk in, you can smell the pine. You can hear the wind rustling the pine leaves. And oh, look, there's a squirrel. Right over there, there's a deer. And there's a mama deer with her babies. Look at this. Amazing. It's just teeming with life. There's an owl up there. And as you're walking, what animals do you see? How does it feel? As you're walking on this beautiful path, it's now pine, laden with pine needles that are just like this perfect cushion for your feet. It's like they just put them down just so you could walk through comfortably. And as you're walking in this forest, you just look up and you can see the blue sky and the sun spilling over into the trees. It's this beautiful, refreshing day. The oxygen is like doubled. It feels so refreshing. You take a deep breath in, and you can feel like every cell of your body is alive, healthy, happy, dancing. And you're on this trail, and you look ahead and you see this light coming towards you. And it's a good light. And as it comes closer and closer towards you, you begin to see it's like this angelic being. She is in light. She's white in white light, surrounded by this golden exterior. And she's coming towards you with this wonderfully peaceful and almost holy look on her face. And she's smiling. She's carrying a basket. And she says, greets you good morning without saying a word, but greets you, and she knows your name. And you feel very comfortable with her and warm. And she says, I have a gift for you. I want you to take something out of this basket. So reach into the basket and pull out your gift. Now pay attention to that. What is the gift that you've pulled out? Is it a word? Is it an object? Is it like a little crystal ball that shows you of a new situation that's happening? It's like a little miniature TV set that shows you a video of what's going to happen. Whatever it is, it's wonderful. It's a positive, joyous thing. And she acknowledges that, your thought brought that about. Keeping the high watch with your thought has brought about this wonderful experience. And then she says to you, is there anything you'd like to surrender? Is there anything you'd like to let go of that no longer serves you, or that you're fearful of or worried about? Is Is there anything you'd like to let go of? So picture it and go to your heart. Touch your heart. And now pull that thing as though you're pulling it out of your heart and put it into the basket. Now, how does that feel? Breathe in. And she bows and says that she honors you for doing this, for accepting the good, for releasing what no longer serves you. She walks with you for a while, and you're linked arm in arm. And you're reminded that this power for good in the world is yours to use. She reminds you that it's always at your disposal. It is your mind in operation. With that understanding, she turns and says, it's time to go. So she bows and says, whenever you need to, you can call upon her. She's the light within you. And you say farewell, and you turn. And you see a little fork in the road, and you're going back on your path. And as you do, you see that owl. There's some squirrels. Oh my goodness, there's a little skunk over there with the biggest tail in the world. It's beautiful. It's like it's waving to you. And you feel so at peace, so natural. You're in nature here, and it's so natural. And all of these little forest denizens are just so loving and sweet and good. It's such a comfortable place to be. So you bid farewell to your little pals, and you can go back and visit them anytime. And then as you come out on the path, there's your little brook again. 3 little stones, like body, mind, spirit, you name them. Body, mind, spirit. So you step on body, mind, spirit, and you're in the meadow. Here's this beautiful meadow. There's that butterfly again. It's like a trained butterfly. It's just with you, just reminding you of the effervescence of life, the essence of joy. And it's so light. And as you're walking through the meadow, you turn and look at those beautiful mountains in the distance, and you bless your experience. You thank it for its message. And slowly, slowly, you look down at your bare feet, and you're back in this room again. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Did you have fun? Did you get a good picture of what you're putting in the basket and what you're taking out? Good. Okay. So this is the time of, does anybody want a prayer treatment? Nobody wants a prayer treatment. Holy cats, yes.
My foot has been healing from I had tendon surgery, and I'd like prayer for my foot to continue.
Perfect healing. Okay. All righty. So this is what we're going to know. And this will be a healing prayer for everybody, okay? Those of you that didn't want to pipe up for a healing prayer. So this is what I know. God is all there is. And God and I are one. That is the power that I use every day. And I know that heaven is right here, right now. And what that means to me is that what I declare in mind is known in the infinite mind. And I trust that the infinite mind brings about to me all the good that I desire, all the good that I declare. So I keep my mind lifted. I keep my ideas and my thoughts high and positive. And I declare for myself perfect health. The health of God is coursing through all of my veins, all of my muscles, all of my tendons, all of my organs. And it is realizing right now. I know that the healing power is happening now. I release anything that might stop or block that healing from going, from happening. And it's on a wonderful trajectory of rapid recovery. And so I embrace that and know that that is my truth. I put aside anything that I'm fearful of, and I remember to have faith. Faith in the thing unseen, and that is this amazing healing power. I have the healing power of God in my body right here and now. It is happening right now. All of my cells, atoms, muscles, organs respond to this prayer and hear it. It is divine because it is in law in mind, in action right now. I give thanks right now that I'm releasing what no longer serves me and I am embracing what does serve me. The perfect healing modalities for me are coming into my experience right now. And I know that I am so blessed. I am so grateful for this healing that's happening right now. I don't have to wait for it. It's not going to take months. It's not going to take forever. It's done now. And so as I know that my word always comes back to me answered. I keep my ideas solid on that idea that God is, I am, healing is now. I trust in this, I believe in this, and together we say, and so it is. Okay. Anybody else? Nothing else? Okay. Well, thank you for a lovely Wednesday afternoon. I mean, I guess it's now afternoon, huh? That's wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.